Battle started.
Welcome back to another Beyond All Reason showdown. Today we've got a 1 vs 1 match that promises to be well entertaining. On one side we have Pigz in red, and on the other blue is TANKTOM. Pigz is a player who's about as familiar with victory as a cat is with water. He's not in his natural habitat. His opponent is a man who doesn't just bring tanks to a fight, he brings the whole garage. Will Pigz finally rise to the occasion, or is he just here to provide TANKTOM with some target practice? Let's find out. But we're not alone in this madness. Joining us with commentary, it's myself, Twig, and then we have Pradith, who manages to keep things classy, and Brodicus, who will probably contribute more swear words than Pigz will contribute damage. This match is bound to be a blast, so let's dive right in.
Starting off with Pigz on the bottom left side in red. Pigz is starting off with a bot lab, so hopefully he will be taking fairly decent ground control early on. In the top side we have TANKTOM, who's going for a vehicle start, which will be very strong holding the passage, but might leave him to be outmaneuvered as units go around the cliffs. This map is a diagonally symmetrical map with a large volume of close mexes, so map control is going to be key for this one.
Straight off the bat, I want to see some bloody Wolverines on that high ground.
Yeah, if you control the high ground on this one, no competition.
Oh, bloody hell. Like, realistically, you only got 3 chokes you need to control. And you could have 2 armies doing that. Like, one up on this hill, one up on that hill, then they can just go back and forth.
Yep. The only problem with controlling that middle choke is that because each side has a great access to the upper ground, controlling the upper ground might be more effective than controlling the choke itself.
That's what I mean with the upper ground. Sit your armies up on the ground and you can just go back and forth and you can shoot down into the chokes.
TANKTOM has got a scout heading to the center of the map. So it looks like he's going to be trying to hold there and prevent the closest closest route of attack. Though one incisor will not be enough to hold against 5 pawns. Though with them spread out like this, it might be able to take a couple of them down and give TANKTOM warning before they break into his base. No LLTs for defense, and a slow production on the vehicle plant.
He's only got the 2 mexes built as well. That's Tom. And Pigz, he's built 3, but one of them's not the initial 3 in his base. He's actually forgotten to build that 3rd one in the base.
TANKTOM has done well as you could expect with his incisor, taking out 2 of the pawns, but that leaves the other 3 ready to go through. Question is, can Pigz get him around the comm? Looks like one, maybe 2 will get around. How much damage can they do? How much damage can they do before they're chased down? Immediately the converter goes down, but Pigz left him within range of the exploding radius. They took damage from taking that one down.
The best thing to do with those is just quite straight past those obstacles so that you can keep pushing your advantage and not hold up on a fight command. You want to just keep walking.
Speaking of pushing the advantage, looks like Pigz is going in with another 6 pawns. TANKTOM still doesn't really have the defenses needed, though with his build turret online, the incisors are starting to come out, though it looks like Tom is sending them around the outside, so they won't be where they need to be. Pigz has got a builder heading around, constructing a lot of the mexes. At the moment, it's currently in favor of TANKTOM, but it doesn't look like TANKTOM is building with anything beyond his commander, so that'll quickly flip back to Pigz. Units looking for a bit of a flank, splitting up into 2 units of 3. I like to see that. Each one of those should be capable of taking out an incisor. And we'll see whether he can get in and destroy the wind production or some of those mexes.
The mexes in the radar would be perfect.
Yep, mexes in the radar would be perfect, though he's inside the incisors.
Yeah, that's
not enough.
I was so concentrating.
TANKTOM's finally looking at getting an LLT on his base. Doesn't look like Pigz is going to get much damage, mostly because he's picked the side that Tom hasn't expanded to.
Tom's got a pounder out now though, so those pawns are going to be in trouble.
If
That
they
missile
engage,
advantage is going to start paying, not paying off soon.
Yep.
He's focused on his units, Pigz, and
Just needs to eat that bloody pawn with the construction turret. Oh, it killed itself.
yep, same problem there. Stayed within the explosion radius. When you're for our viewers at home, one of the things you want to try and do when you're attacking with units is keep them at their maximum range to try and avoid things like that. That pawn could have potentially taken out the entire wind system before Tom reacted to it.
yeah, I don't like his strategy of stand still and hope for the best.
Yep. Though micro being what it is, you can't always expect everyone to be able to take on every problem. I remember in my game versus Pigz, he snuck on through, and it was only by random placement of LLTs that I didn't lose my entire base.
Pigz has taken the metal advantage now.
Yep.
Finally building that third X in his base. That was annoying me.
Maybe he has a strategy that you just don't know about yet.
I mean, he's got a commanding... I was about to say he's got a commanding metal lead. I'm completely wrong. Tom's got the commanding metal lead.
Yep.
And that would be because Pigz' mexes aren't producing when there's a power shortage.
And Pigz at the moment is very short on power. He's tried to run his entire economy off of 2 solars and 6 wind, which just isn't doing it for him. Not to mention the metal donations that he's sent over to Tom's side, none of which Tom has reclaimed yet.
And he is Armada as well, Pigz. So if he builds winds, they actually cannot be inefficient with the minimum wind speed of 5. You can see that wind is his best option.
Yeah, it actually surprises me that we're not seeing Pigz going a wind-only strategy. Even though the wind varies, the cost per energy produced when it can't go into the inefficient range means that they'll always be better than solars.
Like Tom's pretty much got himself locked down now. He's got LLTs everywhere and pounders.
So those pawns are not going to be effective anymore.
That was questionable.
And he's completely stalled himself with this construction turret at the same time as going for a Centurion. And I don't know what the purpose of the Centurion is right now.
Centurion will tank quite a few shots from that pounder, which could allow for a surround with pawns. Could be a
with
cost-effective
its
trade.
knockback effect, I don't know if the Centurion will be able to engage very much with it.
What I'd like to see coming out of him is rocket bots. That's probably the only way that he can push through this gap at the moment.
Tom with the more experience, he's got that wind farm coming up. Whereas Pigz just building it as he needs it, and you can now see on the statistics on the top right of the screen how much of an advantage there is on metal and energy income. I'd be surprised to see a win from Pigz now.
One of the things that both players are doing quite well is they're keeping all of their construction within the range of construction turrets. As you can see by TANKTOM's wind farm, the plan doesn't actually exceed the range of the wind farms, neglecting even one of the turbines. Based on the build turret AI, it'll continuously flick between a turbine and a unit, which is a good thing to see. TANKTOM's also identified that he's beginning to float quite a lot of metal, so he's begun additional construction turret buildings. On the other hand, Pigz is still using the 1 and is only just getting on his wind production, though he's been much more efficient at spending his metal. Mostly because of those inefficient solars.
Tom's gone into 4 construction turrets, probably a little bit overboard for that eco.
Definitely doesn't have the energy for that. Thankfully, he's not using T2 Mexus, which would power down when they run out of energy.
That surprises me. I just saw a T2 factory get dropped onto the field without.
That's Tom for you. Energy. Tom would rather win on T2 than play on T1.
But it doesn't have the energy for it. You want to see at least 500-600 energy coming in.
Yep. What would you say the metal income rate should be for a T2 transition?
At least 23, 24.
Looks like we've got a battle on the front line. TANKTOM's tanks are holding quite well, though the surround bonus that the bots have gotten have allowed them to push through. Though with only 1 pawn surviving this, I don't think there'll be much damage done.
And a little bit of a miss micro again from Pigz, forgetting to
However,
focus
Peak
on that.
too soon. There's some res bots rezzing in the back.
And he's
And
just
he
Oh,
pulled
but he's
back for
pulled
some
them
reason.
away.
He could have easily reclaimed.
Yep, that 1,000 metal could have been his, or at least most of it, before they got in range of the pounders. Because TANKTOM is not microing the front, and he doesn't have the. Actually, his units are set to defend his base. He's not even sending them forward, so Pigz has the opportunity to punch through that middle.
Hmm.
Once he's on the other side, he'll be able to run circles around TANKTOM.
And this is the problem. They've neglected a radar on the high ground to see what's happening on the other side. So you know,
Yeah.
if Pigz had that radar, he'd go, "Oh shit, there's nothing there."
And
I'm gonna go in and
Tom,
fucking get
Tom
up."
has just done that, and he's
Yep.
now saying, you'll see the construction bot feels confident to go and build, even though he can't see the 5 pawns at the top of the map. He feels confident to go up there because he knows that Pigz isn't even pushing. Pigz has been on 19 metal for the last, I think it's about 5 minutes, 4 or 5 minutes, and has not increased that eco. Has not tried to build on any of those midline mexes that he's got distance advantage on.
And the thing
TANKTOM
is that-
it's fortifying the bottom left of the bottom right of the screen with Dragon Claws closing up that opportunity, but that's a lot of metal that won't be on the front line with this fight. Lashes make for a very good ranged engagement, but as soon as you get in close with them, they don't have the punch, and especially not against something like Centurions.
Finally, we're
Tom's
probably
good.
seeing
He's
Pig's
good.
last hope here and just bringing those res bots forward. I don't know if he's going to res or, yeah, it looks like he's resing rather than reclaiming.
I would like to see the bots being reclaimed, but those pounders being rezzed.
Well, Tom's in a precarious situation. He's got his T2 up. His first thing was a advanced construction vehicle when he's got an army of 4 guard in his base. He's doing a Tiger now, but
Awfully quiet. I don't think I like it.
he's,
Yes.
The Scorpion
if
pop-up
he doesn't
turret
like it.
is a very interesting choice. Where
Unfortunately,
he's
the placement, he can just be walked around. And they can get a lot
exactly.
of wind and the construction turrets.
Exactly. The thing that you want to protect most is your metal, and that Scorpion turret does not do that.
Yeah, just
I think that
looking
if
at the
Pig-
player cams, and you can see from my screen, Pigz hasn't scouted out enough, and he could be building another 4 mexes. Finally, though, he has sent a constructor up onto the hill.
What I'd like to see with Tom is doing some sweeping attacks with his Tiger going along here, firing in. Not like that, but you know, a bit further back and just picking away at that army.
Yeah, a
Try and
strafe.
make Pigz unsettled instead of just letting him there have his way with the wreckages.
Yep.
He's almost got his second one out, so he can, you know, effectively do it and probably take out a unit or two on a pass, and they're not going to do that much to them.
Pig's still on only plus 250 energy. Absolutely choked himself with eco here compared to Tom's 500 and 600.
No.
As soon as he
he's
hears
made
this
it.
T2 alert, I'd be surprised if he doesn't try and change up his tactic. This would probably be the opportunity for an air transition.
The other
Though
thing too is he's building a massive wind farm, and it looks like it's set to
Well, that's not what I wanted to
in one big block instead of a row or two.
Yeah, so those watching, if you want to safely build a wind farm, if you want to hold down Shift, Alt and drag, you can build rows of 2 and they won't chain react. Similarly, if you want to draw it in a big block, use your Z and X in that same combination to expand and decrease
That
the gaps between those wind
Nice.
farms.
I'd say at this point, Pigz is getting an advantage. What he needs to do is, instead of run into that Scorpion, is go out and pick off the mexes that are around the base instead of at the base,
Yeah.
Yep.
and really fuck over Tom's eco, then eat that metal, transition himself, or just get around the back like we were talking about before and get into those wins.
Pigz definitely had the stronger army, but the fact that he tried to fight in the Scorpion is what changed that outcome. Sometimes
Tom-
a direct fight is not what you want. Instead, you want to try and take the smart engagement or cripple your enemy's resources.
And Tom's not microing those Tigers, he just sent them in. Like those other ones got surrounded by bots. You know, he just
Yep.
needs to use the Tiger's range. Hit points is great, but it's not when you've got like 10 enemies against you.
Yep, that's another Tiger going down. Tom finally starting to reclaim some of the front line, though
I think Tom's got 3 of those T2 maxes up now as well.
And Pig's
Yep.
doing his classic, building a T2 lab while he's building other things too. So that's going to take a sweet long minute to come online. About 1.5 to 2 minutes, I'd suggest.
Yep.
Like, building those units, beat that T1. He's got a substantial army to sit there and guard shit with. He doesn't need to like he knows Tom's on the rope, so he should be able to comfortably transition.
Yep, I wouldn't have spent the money on a T2 transition while trying to maintain this attack. I'd have tried to go for a T1 push while Tom is spending most of his money on economy, because eventually Tom will do something like get a Tsar, and
Well, the other
a
thing
Tsar
too
will shut down this push.
The
I
other thing
think
too
that's
is
a good
Pigz
game
is
over.
resing these units instead of reclaiming them. If he wants to build that T2 quickly, he should have been eating the metal, not resing.
Yep. I don't disagree with resing the T2 tanks, but anything T1 at this point could be eaten for that T2 lab.
Yeah. The other thing too is if you're going to pump out units, pump out some more res bots, heal up the shit that's on the front, and also
Yep.
move these other units that's sitting in the back into that gap.
I know.
It's always
That
more
way-
efficient to heal units than to res or reclaim.
Now, I just noticed something. If you look down here, that constructor that snuck behind built 2 flame turrets in that choke. So those 5 pawns, if they go back, they're fucked. I was actually expecting Tom to build those triple maxes back there because
Oh,
they
yeah.
couldn't see them. Oh yeah, the star's out now.
But
GG.
Tom is allowing it to be surrounded. It'll still win, but it's going to take a lot more damage than it should have.
Well, Banish is
Pigz
coming
needs
out
to
in a
continue
second.
his push there instead of running away. Running away from the Tsar is pretty much guaranteeing that it's going to take a bit of trade than you.
Yep.
And he needs to
Long
do a drag.
range,
and spread
high
those,
damage,
units
AoE
out.
explosion.
Drag them out, spread them out in a line, and then do a circle around the Tsar. And just keep that circle around him.
Something that I
Considerable
want to see from
metal advantage
TANKTOM. He's
now.
got plenty of metal. I want to see him healing those tanks instead of reclaiming.
Well, one's almost done for him, 77% on that Tiger that the Tsar's sitting next. Those pawns are finally moving in, the 5 that have been sitting up the back, picking out some P1 maxes, but
Yeah. Pigz
P1
did the
maxes
same
aren't
down the
really-
bottom right and came across the flame turrets. So he's done all the
Yep.
right moves about 10 minutes too late.
Yep. All he needed to do was use a fight command and send him to the back corner and then diagonally into the base, and they would have done immense damage. 2 seconds worth of micro could have changed this game.
look at the metal difference. It's pretty
Hero
close to
point.
double.
Yep. TANKTOM
That's
sitting at
up there.
49 versus Pigz 32.
Pigz has got his T2 up. First thing's out. Looks like a T2 bot, and then 2 jammers,
Yep.
and then a radar. Once he got building in there, 2 radars and 11 hounds.
I do like seeing the hounds, but again, against the Tsar, hounds are going to struggle.
He doesn't
And
really
against
have
2
energy
Tsars,
for
they're
his
going to struggle even more.
I think his best bet would be to go to something like the Recluse and use the hills and the geography to his advantage that the bots give him. He could easily just send 1 Recluse straight over the hill and then into the back line, but obviously
Mhm.
that's not something he knows. If he builds the radar up on the cliff edge, definitely would give him a good advantage there. I do think we're about to see a T1 army fall very quickly to the couple of Tsars.
Well, one of the Tsars is massively out of position. I'd actually rate this T1 army against the 1 Tsar and 1 Tiger on the front, depending on how TANKTOM's D-guns go, which they won't, because he's spending all of his energy faster than he can make it.
Yeah, he's gone hardcore into. He's up to his 7th sun turret with another 2 on the way, and he's doing his fusion. 2 birds of the way done on the fusion. 3 seconds to go.
See the damage of just a single shot from the Tsar. Grouped
Yeah,
up
this one,
units
yeah.
going through a passage can be a problem.
Another thing
He
is
had
that-
a quick opportunity of a surround, and unfortunately keeping his distance from the Tsar is going to be his downfall here, and he'll probably lose this fight to the 1 Tsar.
Yep.
He's lost it now. Sure.
So he's doing the one thing that he should have done a long time ago, which is not try and fight it directly, try and fight around it. If he goes up and clears those 4 Mexes, it's at least some damage.
Yeah, other issue is he's still building T1 when he's got that T2 lab.
Yeah. Something that TANKTOM needs to do is, I know that he's not a common tank player, but he's got to alter sign his hotkeys so that when he selects, say, his Zars, all of them come out on 1, and his Banishes, all of them come out on 2, because he's leaving them all over the map.
And a bit of a miss micro up on the hill where the 3 plasma bots have just missed the mexes and walked straight on through to nothing.
Definitely not ideal.
And Pigz is building a wind farm up on this hill as well, and it's another one that can be chain reacted very easy.
Yep, if TANKTOM got even a single bomber over both of those wind fields, he'd be able to cripple. Pigz in just a couple of seconds.
Tom's power issues are over anyway. He's up to 1700, almost 18.
Yep,
got
though
another
he's
huge
investing in
upgrade.
a second fusion reactor with no metal in the bank, which is going to take a long time to come out, and he's going to have to fight a T2 Hound army with 2 Zars and a couple of Banishes. That fight will come entirely down to micro, and considering that Pigz has the radar jammers, Pigz, I think, has the advantage on that one.
Absolutely. Tom definitely needs a jammer and a at least one radar to give those stars line of sight.
I don't mind this tick
Like
spam.
Pig's got spams coming through now.
Yep, against high damage, low fire rate shots like the Tsar and the Banishes, that tick spam is hugely effective. You're essentially sacrificing 17 metal for a shot from each one of those that isn't crippling some of your army. So we'll see how those go pushing forward.
It looks like he's not set a waypoint now into the back line for those ticks, and they're
I think they'd
stopping.
come out sooner or later.
And there goes one shot and all the hounds dead.
Yep.
What happens sometimes?
I feel like Pigz is making a lot of the right moves this game, he's just not making them at the right time.
Yeah, we've got a good eco player, which makes sense because Tom is used to playing against the AI in a lot of co-op games with AllReasonNoLogic. Whereas Pigz, he's probably had a little bit more experience on 1v1s and knows that you just got to keep on harassing, keep on pushing. If I was Pigz, I'd like to see a run by, just ignore the ignore the tanks and just run in.
Well, his ticks were doing the job for him. Those stars killed 2 Banishes and a star. Fixing the ticks running through. Like Tom's Tigers have broken through. He's got 3 of them. None of them are in good shape. But what's in the back line to stop them? An LLT, 2 LLTs.
And look at Tom.
In the base.
He's not going straight B line at the base. He's assuming a defended. Let's switch to a player cam. Wrong player.
No, he doesn't know it's there.
Yep.
I want to watch.
There we go. Now they're swinging in, and there goes that wind farm.
Yep.
Massive chain reaction.
Oh, that's a bad way to build wind.
Tom says it himself.
Oh,
And that,
how did you get wrong then? Little bugger. I thought I blocked it. Just maybe the
Killer blow.
He just
yep.
it is a bad
From-
idea, I wasn't expecting you to
And a lack of radar. Oh, he does have the radar
No,
there.
he
I'm
does.
surprised
He just didn't see
it.
the dots moving across the map.
Pigz does zoom in a lot in his games, and that can be a disadvantage in this game unless you're
He's
very
pumped
high
out res
RPM.
bots. He's pumped out res bots too, but he's forgotten to take them out of the tick line. So they're just getting eaten by the star when those res bots could be back at base healing or rezzing a mech to Tiger, Solar.
He has managed to take out one of the stars with his commander.
Yep.
Hello.
He's using his invisible commander. However, he doesn't have the energy production to maintain it.
The problem is what else is there.
That's GG.
If a Walker commander out invisible
Well, that was an
under radar
interesting
covering
game,
without a jammer.
Yep.
I quite enjoyed that one.
Yeah, that wasn't bad.
Let's bring the boys
it
back
wasn't
into
bad.
the chat and get their reactions.
Yeah.
We got you guys.
So a quick couple of questions from the games. Pigz, we all thought that you made a lot of the right moves, just potentially at the wrong time. You had forces around the outside of the map on both sides, but by the time you sent them in, TANKTOM had enough time to build some Dragon Claws. Just wondering what stopped you from pushing those ones in as soon as they got there.
I don't think they've joined our chat.
I'm here.
Where's
Pig-
everybody else?
Pig's there.
Where's they all gone?
Have
Tom.
you unmuted them, Pigs?
Yeah, I've unmuted them, yeah.
He hasn't.
The
Yeah.
game's gone. Has your game gone? Because I.
Yeah,
all
don't worry
offline.
about that one for the moment.
Sounds like
Okay.
Pigz is having a
think
bit
it's
of
crashed.
technical trouble, so we're going to have to cut the post-game chat short.
Wow, what?
Hope
hell's
everyone
going on?
enjoyed that game, and we'll catch you all next time.
See you next time,
I think
guys.
it just booted.